if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
What is going on, everyone? Episode 36 of Lucker Talk Live. This is our Houston area recap show. Heck, we may do some looking ahead. This is one of those crazy shows where you never know what's going to happen. Joining me today are the Houston Gurus themselves, Matt Malatesta, Josh Cook. Let's start with you, Josh. Josh, how are you doing today, man? How was your weekend? I know, look, I'm not going to say this very long. I'll make it short and sweet. I know it wasn't good on Saturday, but after that, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
I told someone last night. Like, I don't really like. I'm like the Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Cowboys are like known for making every single game go to the last second. And here I am, like just relaxing most of the second half. I didn't know what to do, man. It was new for me.
Man, Dak Prescott looked good. He looked good. He was slinging it out there. He was hitting CD Lamb, the former Foster wide receiver, on that big hit to the end zone at the beginning of the game. Which, you know, I even text CD's old coach, Coach McDowell. And I was like, Coach, what'd you think? And he was like, man, he should have gotten in the end zone. I was like, I mean, that's the coach in you speaking right there. I mean, you got like a 40-yard pass and you don't get in the end zone there at the end. But yeah, you know, Texas Tech, man, took a hammering on Saturday. We lose our starting quarterback. We didn't have our starting running back. We lost a couple defensive players. But, man, you know, Texas fans, be careful. Don't start saying Texas is back and all this after beating Rice and Texas Tech. So,
no.
I mean, you gotta go beat formidable opponents before that. But it was good. Good weekend of college football. Good weekend of the NFL. You know, high school football, really exciting last week. Exciting game between Tomball and Tomball Memorial. Tomball wins that one. Cale Helms had arguably the most viral play of the year so far. It looked like Johnny Manziel running around there, making that last-second touchdown to extend that lead to a double-digit lead. So we'll see. But we got some big games this week. 3 games feature undefeated versus undefeated. So we're going to be knocking down that list of the undefeateds this week.
That's right. Matt, let's bring you in here. How are you doing, Matt? Matt, I think you are still on mute. Let's get you unmuted there. There we go. How you doing, Matt?
Tigers won. Exciting. Even though it's Mississippi State. Y'all, they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Who gives a crap about that? Eagles ain't no good.
Whoa. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Any Cowboys fan knows that might as well be our mini Super Bowl.
Yeah, hey, rivalry games are different, right? You can have the worst year ever. Rivalry games hit different, and it's the fact that they beat them handily, right? I think that's what's most impressive for this Cowboys squad because they don't normally do that, right? So they may be the Eagles, Matt, but it was an impressive win nonetheless.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
You can't come at two Cowboys fans like that, Matt. You can't do it.
I do like what they're doing. I think Dak Prescott's really good. I think their rookie defensive or kind of linebacker DN kid from Ohio State, dude, he's awesome.
It's Penn State, but you know he would not be happy if he heard that. So we got to make sure that's corrected. Penn State, but yeah, Michael Parsons is a beast. But let's talk some high school football. We talked Austin, San Antonio, and DFW yesterday. Some really good games there. Let's look back at this week. Let's start with that Tomball Memorial game. Tomball ends up winning by 14, of course, with that crazy play. I don't know if any of you were there. I don't think so. I know Ashton, our VYPE ambassador, was there. Let's start with you, Josh. Talk us through that game. I know you picked Tomball to win, so that's good for you trying to catch up in those pick'ems for the VYPE Coaches Corner show. Walk us through that game, though.
I mean, you talk about rivalry games. That was a big rivalry game. It was their big patriotic show. They were first time playing that game in the big stadium. Cale Helms, I think, and Matt, I mean, you might agree with this. I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the greater Houston area right now. What he can do with that offense, they move the ball well. They put up numbers. Kevin Flanagan continues to put it together out there at Tomball. And I think they're one of the one of the better teams in Houston right now, and we'll have to see how they can do it the rest of the season and then getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, Tomball's nice. I mean, they're really nice. Other things that really stuck out, Dickinson is really good. You know, they lost some tough games at the very beginning of the year, but they are on flex mode. They killed Clear Falls. And they're probably the best team coming out of the south side of Houston.
Yeah, me and Scott were talking the last few weeks, and I called them the best two-loss team, arguably, in the city of Houston. When you look at the 2 games they lost and how they lost those games, they could easily be undefeated right now, and definitely have impressed this past week. Josh, did we pick this game, and did you pick them to win?
I can't remember. I don't know if we picked that game.
I don't think you did, but still.
But still, yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Dickinson, and Matt will probably agree with this. Dickinson always has really good regular season, and then they get in the playoffs, they always get knocked out in the second or third round because they can't get past a North Shore or a Tascasita or somebody like that. So this Dickinson team has to prove to me this year that you can make a deep run in the playoffs, which I think, honestly, Region 3 is kind of wide open at this point because Ridge Point has looked good, then they've looked bad. We've had a Tascasita, they've looked good, they lose one game to Denton Geyer. You got all these other undefeated teams. Can this be the year that Dickinson finally takes that step and makes a deep playoff run?
Well, and those close losses to start the season could actually be beneficial for them, right? Get to see kind of where those kind of issues lie, get to correct them so they're not all kind of high and mighty maybe heading into those playoffs. So, you know, sometimes non-district regular season, and heck, even district, sometimes those losses, especially the way they've lost, can actually help a team heading into the district and the playoffs. Another game I want to talk about, Stratford beating Cy-Fair. What about that? That's the first time, and I could be wrong on this, but I thought I saw something like 13 or 17 years or something like that. It's been a while since Stratford beat Cy-Fair. Is that right? Who wants to take on this one?
Coach this morning, and it's been a very long time. They're 4-0 right now. Todd Rankin has a really good coaching lineage. He came from Oak Ridge, where he worked under Bob Barrett. Then he followed that up with working with David Amon and John Kay. And then he went to Klein Collins, where he worked for Drew Sabota, who's now with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Pretty good lineage of coaching that he worked under. It's taken some time. It's a different type of kid at Stratford, right? These are kids that, you know, they're going on European vacations and, you know, are they all in for football? Well, he's got them all bought in for football. He's got a really good senior and junior and even some sophomores that are really, really good. His son is the quarterback. So Nash has done a very good job quarterbacking this team, and they have some playmakers, which they don't have on the edge. And their defense has been the biggest difference. He said, you know, he's got some real alphas on the defensive side of the ball that lead that locker room. And he's got 4 offensive linemen. That's always a winning recipe.
Josh, how about you? Is this Stratford win? Is it something we need to look out for? Now, I don't think they're going to make, you know, obviously make the run to state, but is this a good sign for Stratford as they, you know, continue into district?
Yeah, I think it's a good sign for Stratford. Stratford football, like you said, you know, Matt said Nash Rankin is the quarterback for them. They're playing really good football. They got a big tight end prospect in Hawkins Pauly that is just a big target for Rankin. You know, in that district, you know, Cy-Fair has been kind of the kings of that district. So this is a big win for Stratford. We just have to see how they come off of that win and how they continue to move forward. But, I mean, looking at those pictures last week, man, those Stratford uniforms are fresh. Fresh uniforms, Matt. I know you like it. They got a little Green Bay Packer going on. Got to like it.
Well, what's cool is I mean, you remember they came to our photo shoot, Josh Dub, and they come to our photo shoot in, like, golf shirts because they couldn't get in to their building because it was under reconstruction, and they couldn't get their new uniforms and their pads. So these guys look like a bunch of frat dudes. Like, man, they ain't gonna be nobody.
Oh.
And, yeah,
Looking through our magazine,
so
you know, like,
new uniforms, and they looking very swaggy.
They swag.
Yeah. What about this game? Could this be considered maybe the upset of the past week right here? Fort Bend Hightower goes in and beats Manville 16-12. Coach Williams tried to tell us, and you know, people didn't listen. That is definitely an impressive win for Fort Bend Hightower, is it not, Josh?
Oh, it's a huge win for Fort Bend Hightower. I mean, Manville, everyone early in the season was talking about their two-headed running back monster that they have in Seymour, and I can't remember the other running back right now, but they were looking like Manville of past where they kind of run over people. But Fort Bend Hightower's defense stood up big. Caleb Douglas, the USC commit, had the huge touchdown catch at the end where he rose above like two defenders, showed why he's a Division I prospect. Fort Bend Hightower is always that team. They're always going to be around. They're always going to hang around. They made a deep playoff run last year. I remember writing a story about that because their head coach at the time had COVID, or his wife had COVID, and he couldn't be around the team. So he was like coaching from his living room for 2 straight weeks, and all this craziness was going on. And this is a Hightower team that's really young this year too, and that's what's going to make them really dangerous, not only for this year but for years to come.
Matt, tell us about this Manville game.
Win.
Yeah,
that's a program-changing game for them, and I didn't see it coming. And great job. They've got athletes. Okay, do they have enough athletes? I didn't think they did. Do they have the defense to slow down Manville? Because Manville's a brutal team to play against. They are very physical, and they held up to the test, which was unbelievable. So, great job for them. I think they could be a serious power in Class 5A moving forward.
Oh, man, you heard it here first. Let's go back to this Stratford game real quick. We got a comment in the YouTube section from our own Scotty T. Does Stratford have a chance to win their district?
Yes. In fact, they're going to play Memorial. That's going to be the big one. But Memorial's got to beat Cy-Fair. The other kind of fly in the ointment is Cy Creek. I don't know what these dudes are going to do. They hung 92 points on Northbrook. That's rude. Can we just say it's rude? A. B, they're so Jekyll and Hyde, but man, if they get their offense rolling and you're not ready for it, they could put some points on the board.
Yeah.
Well, you know who you're forgetting that they're going to have to get through too, Matt. And we talked about these guys early before the year. Jersey Village. Jersey Village is a good football team. 4-0 in the season. They're undefeated. They've outscored opponents 137-65. You know, they look really good. They're, you know, this is a Jersey Village team that is coming for this district championship this year.
It's going to be a great district indeed. By the way, I just want to throw this little nugget of information out there for you guys. I know we talk about 92 points. Richland Springs, it's 1A, so take that with what you will. Just beat an opponent this past Friday, 119-112. So that was a high-scoring affair for 1A and just football in general. So just wanted to throw that nugget out there. One last game I want to talk about personally is a 4A school. That's El Campo, just handing it to Bernie Champion. I mean, that game wasn't even close. Ruben Owens ran all over the field on that one. I think after that, who did they play in Houston, and they kind of lost, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay." But I mean,
they lost to Fulshire.
That's what it was.
They lost to Fulshire early in the season, and everyone was like, "What's going on with El Campo? Why can't they can't beat Fulshire?" And then they go and do that to Bernie Champion. You talk about rude. Okay, I mean, Ruben Owens was rude.
Yeah, he did that with Goldberg. He did that with Goldberg in the house. So, for those that don't know, Goldberg, WWE wrestler, his son actually plays for Bernie Champion, a defensive end there, and he was there for that game, and it was not pretty.
Yeah, Bernie Champion got suplexed is what happened there.
Yeah. Any other games that y'all saw that I want to talk about before we kind of take a little brief look ahead? I know I picked out a few, but any of the others that Josh, will start with you. Any of the games that you kind of want to throw out there that kind of impressed you or surprised you maybe?
I mean, you talk about games that impressed or surprised. I mean, not really surprised. Second Baptist School has won 4 straight games now since their opening season loss to Kincaid. They beat Port Lavaca Calhoun last week, 23-19. Nice win for Terry Purtle and their crew as they head into district play. They're looking to make a run to their 4th straight state semifinals this year. We all know what's waiting for them. It's Austin Regions. Can Second Baptist School get there? Can they beat Austin Regions? That's the big question. Well, first they're going to take care of their porch, which is their district play. They're going to try to win another district championship, which they've gotten accustomed to there at Second Baptist School. Other games, Magnolia West continues to look really good. They beat up on Caney Creek 42-6. Remember, that was the game last year. I think they beat Caney Creek like 93-0 or something. It was one of those ridiculous games as well. So a little less pummeling on Caney Creek this year. Mag West undefeated. They look really good. Grand Oaks continues to look good. They are undefeated. North Shore beats Beaumont Westbrook. Westbrook kind of down a little bit this year. And then, Klein Cain, another one. Klein Cain's won 4 straight games since losing to Bridgeland in the opening game. I think Carson Roper's figured it out at quarterback, and that could be a dangerous team come the playoffs.
Matt, how about you? Any games?
Yeah, weird game. Ready? Dobie, Channelview. Dobie gets pushed to the max and against Channelview. Like the game was like in the 50s and 40s. I'm like, Dobie, you can't be a top 15 team getting rolled up by offense of the Channelview Falcons home to Jalen Hurts. The heck are you doing? So I wasn't thrilled about that. No, not thrilled at all.
Are we sure that Jalen Hurts, he was in Dallas Monday. Are we sure Jalen Hurts didn't suit up on Friday for Channelview?
Possibly. I don't know.
Have we confirmed that?
But I wasn't thrilled about that game.
Let's look ahead to. I want to talk about at least 2 games this week. Of course, we could talk about more, but this Thursday for our VYPE football showdown that we do, Bridgeland taking on Cypress Woods. Am I correct in that? Is that the right game?
Yeah, that's our game Thursday night. Bridgeland, of course. Connor Wigman show continues to gain momentum. Could the Aggies use Connor Wigman right now?
The Aggies can use anyone right now.
Yeah, that was atrocious what they did against Arkansas. Their quarterback plays bad. Anyways, Wigman is going to put up some big numbers against Woods. Woods can score too. Woods has a pretty decent defense, but I do see Wigman, leading them to victory here.
Josh, how about you on this game? And of course, I don't have the channels on me, but of course, this is going to be on basically your local television providers in the Houston area on CW Network. So be sure to tune that out. But Josh, let me turn that over to you, Bridgeland. They look like they've been rolling so far.
Yeah, Bridgeland rolling. And yeah, Thursday night showdown on AT&T Sportsnet here in Houston. I don't know if it's on the alternate channel or not this week because of the Astros, but we'll see. We'll get that info to you. Look out for the graphic coming. Connor Wigman's going to put on a show. Cy Woods doesn't have the defense to stop him. So another win for Bridgeland. They're going to keep it rolling. They're going to win this district, and Connor Wigman will continue to put on a show. his numbers have been ridiculous through the first, 4 games of the season. So, it's just too much for Bridgeland or for Cy Woods.
Yeah, I would agree there. Matt, did you have anything to add, or I don't know if you were about to try and say something there?
No. Bridgeland wins handedly.
Scott on YouTube once again, and Scotty, that was going to be my next game. He said Spring versus Westfield ! And that's the game. I think probably if I had to guess, and of course you guys are the gurus, so you can correct me, but I feel like that's the game in Houston this week. Spring versus Westfield. Tell us about this game, guys. Matt. Let's start with you.
Okay, Josh is all hyped on Westfield, getting all hyped. You can't cover all them receivers at Spring. They're just so good. There's just too many good receivers that run great routes with a great signal caller. Spring's winning this game, and I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be at least 10 points.
Oh, wow. Josh, do you care to refute that?
What say you, Josh?
Are you just hoping to anger the Westfield nation? You just want to make them mad? Westfield has had to sit back for a year and wait for this game.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to play so mad. I'm just saying, because all the talk right now, it's about Bishop Davenport, it's about Spring, and Grant, I've seen Spring in person. They're legit. They're legit, dude. Westfield, though, Cardell Williams is sitting over there going, I'm a D1 quarterback. I'm going D1. No one's talking about me. No one's talking about Anthony Holmes Jr. that's going to Virginia on the defensive side of the ball. We're talking all about Spring. And Westfield is going to come out. I think it's going to flip. They're going to win by 10 or more because I think they're going to play really, really angry football because they want to win this game. They want to win this district. They want to take the 1 seed going into the playoffs.
Nope, not going to happen. Too much offense for Spring. I am obsessed with Anthony Holmes. He is an amazing defensive tackle for Westfield. He is so good. But
this is the best game in the state, right? This has to be.
Who? Oh, best
Spring
game
versus
in the
Westfield.
state.
Best game in the state.
100%.
The people are revved up.
Scotty T says, hey.
People will see green as Spring wins by 10 or more. Boom, in the face.
Scotty T says, hey, Westfield beat North Shore.
Look. There is no comparison between Spring and North Shore right now, especially on offense.
No. Maybe like North Shore 2 years ago. Like North Shore 2018.
Even last year.
But
well, speaking of Spring and their quarterback, just a little plug here. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Will is going to have Bishop Davenport on the VYPE podcast tomorrow. So definitely look out for that interview ahead of their big game. Any other games, guys, that y'all want to talk about before we head out today? Matt, let's go with you.
I got a game. I think the Tompkins-Katy game, that's this week, correct?
Yep. I will. Yep.
Katy Tompkins for the district title the first week of October.
Oh, there you go.
You broke up a little bit. Did you say Katy or Katy Tompkins?
Katy Tigers.
Oh, Katy Tigers.
Oh yeah, Katy Tigers going to win. But look, did that Woodlands game. They get a little exposed on defense. Scylla, nice player. I just don't see him as a top 5 guy in the state. He's good. Bobby Taylor is out with an injury into his arm. He calls it the ACL of your arm. So he's not playing.
He's done. He's done the season. He's done. He announced that a couple weeks ago. He had wrist surgery.
Here's the thing. They're very limited on offenses, Katie. Seth Davis, great running back, but they ride him into the ground, A. B, they run one play. Tompkins, one play. Here it is. You ready? Fake handoff. The tight end runs to the linebacker, gives him a little chuck, and peels off. Koger rolls, little dump pack. If you can guard that one play, you can be in the game. I ain't saying you're gonna win the game, but you can be in the game.
You want a nugget of information here, Matt? I figured out yesterday.
I do. Wait, I'm ready.
You ready for this one? It has been since 1991 that Katy has not lost a district title back-to-back years. That was the last time that Katy did not win consecutive titles, or they had lost consecutive titles, because they did not make the playoffs in 1990, and then they finished runner-up in 91. They didn't win district last year, and I made a bold prediction on Monday's on the Coach's Corner show that's coming out tomorrow. Well, I guess it's a preview of the bold prediction, but for the first time in 30 years, Katy will not win district.
Don't do it.
Katy Tompkins, Tompkins fly. Cole Francis is been really good at quarterback, 1,100 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think, like you said, I think the Katy offense is a little limited. Granted, Katy's coming in mad because they lost that game last year, but I'm going the Katy Tompkins. This is going to be a signature win for them again. But, I mean, if you're Katy, why would that upset you? You won last year and you won in one state.
Josh W., can you do something about this guy?
Want me to mute him for you?
Do something about this guy. I mean, what the heck's he talking about?
Well, look, here's the thing.
There's no Jalen Milroe. There's no awesome receivers, tight ends, running backs. Hey, they don't have any offense like that this year. Defensive.
You got Josh McMillan II, who tore Katy up last year. He's back. They couldn't cover him.
Well,
look, here's the thing.
The Katy Tigers.
Josh is behind.
Digit. Book it, Dano.
Josh is behind in his Coach's Corner pick'ems, so he's going all in on the crazy right now. That's really what it is. Let's be real here.
I'm pushing the chips to the center of the table. I'm going. I'm picking every wild game this year. I'm 3 games back from the Coach's Corner. So.
Crazy.
And so far, that 3 games, that seems like that's a bit. It doesn't seem like a lot, but how the season's gone with those pick'ems is definitely a long way. But all right, guys, well, that is going to be our show today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Like Josh said, he will be on with Coach Craig Cranfield at noon for the St. Pius football show. And then at 6 p.m. will be the VYPE Coach's Corner with Coach Williams and Coach McDowell. That show is such a treat just to hear those two coaches just talking not only about football but about life. It's a great show, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. Josh Cook, Dennis Silva on with them. And then, of course, they have a little fun pick-up segment at the end I think is great. Definitely check it out. Also, like I said, VYPE podcast tomorrow, 10 a.m. Bishop Davenport will be on the show with Will Turboff. And then Thursday's our preview show. Friday's our pick 'em show. Matt, any last things you want to say before we head out today?
Yeah, I got something for y'all. All complaints go to josh.cook@vipemedia.com.
There you go.
Look, don't send me the hate mail. Spring.
No, I don't want the hate mail.
Send me the hate mail, Spring. It's not me or Katy.
It's not. The only other game, Summer Creek takes on CE King, 2 undefeated teams in 21-6A. We'll see if CE King is really legit this year as they take on Summer Creek.
Well, hey,
CE King too.
Until tomorrow when we're back, you can follow us on all of our social medias. Definitely, this is specifically VYPE Houston on Twitter, VYPE Houston on Instagram, VYPE on YouTube. Click that subscribe button, y'all. We're here every day talking some sports knowledge. Till then, I'm Whack. That's been Josh. That's been Matt. This has been our Tuesday show. Have a good one, everyone.
See ya.